Hello, it's Caitlin Domer with virtualcoachingsales.com. We're excited to have another learning lunch with emotional freedom tapping, I get that wrong every time, expert Johnilee Whiteside. She has her master's in psychology and has been helping salespeople conquer their fears and really maximize their effectiveness in their sales process for years now. We're so excited to have her. This is actually part two. We did part one, which was kind of an intro to EFT. For those of you who are not familiar with tapping, go back and watch part one. This week, we're going to do a little bit more hands-on exercises. I'm ready. My collarbones are exposed. We're ready to have some fun together and give you what you need to achieve the next level of your sales success. So thank you so much, Johnilee, for joining us today.
Oh, I am thrilled to be here. Thank you for having me, Caitlin. This is going to be really fun.
So tell me, where should we start? If we're getting started on our call day, right? So we're feeling some resistance about picking up the phone and making our dials. Where should we start this process?
Okay, well, it's funny that you ask that way. Because I've been thinking about this. There are three real enemies to our success in sales, and from those three kind of areas, we can kind of drill down and go as deep as you want to get. But the three villains, if you will, are your inner skeptic. So the inner skeptic shows up as like they're never going to buy, or these guys don't have any money, or these leads are crap. I'm never going to be able to close a deal. The next is your inner critic. And your inner critic is basically like, well, I suck at sales. I'll never be able to get them to close. I'll never do it right. I'm always going to make a mistake. And the inner critic can be just a killer, right? And that is often that when resistance shows up and we don't want to pick up the phone, it's often because our inner critic is just going gangbusters on our subconscious. And then the third villain in this trifecta is your inner saboteur. And the inner saboteur is more often what gets in the way of having like that kind of tenacity around your follow-up. It's the reason why you will forget or procrastinate on making those follow-up calls, or, a lot of times in sales, we'll have a moment where maybe there was a prospect that we talked to like 6 months ago and they just pop into our minds. And those are like those moments of inspiration that you absolutely need to act on. And the inner saboteur can totally get in the way and distract you from making those calls and doing that follow-up. So today we're going to look, we'll play with the inner critic a little bit more. And when I work with my clients, we will often spend a few weeks on the inner critic to help to quiet down that voice and to turn, we take the inner critic, and even though in this I call the inner critic a villain, the truth is that our inner critic is here to keep us safe, keep us playing small, keep us in a nice little container of what is known, instead of expanding out and having like this huge presence and vibration in the world, which, the more visible we get, the more we're open to other people criticizing us. So if we can do it to ourselves first, then we're actually keeping ourselves safe from other people criticizing us. And when we quiet that voice, by quieting that voice, by making friends with that voice, and then enrolling the inner critic to actually shift and then help us by giving us more energy, then we can show up and when criticism comes through, we can actually laugh at it a lot easier and move through it, because it's not confirming what our deepest, darkest fear, which is that they might be right about us, that we're really not good enough, that we really can't do it, right? So, so to get back to the scenario that you brought forth, so we're about to start our day. We've got the phone in our hand, and it's time to start dialing for dollars, right? That's really, and what happens? In my experience, and maybe we can talk about your experience as well, but one of the first things that happens is actually a feeling of tightness around the chest or throat. How about for you, when you're in resistance, how does it show up as a feeling in your body?
It's so funny when you're mentioning the 3 different layers, the skeptic, the critic, and the saboteur. I can definitely associate that at different times in my life, I've resonated with one of those more than the other. I will say nowadays, it's my inner saboteur that I'm wrestling with more than anybody. So for me, like, what's amazing about the inner saboteur that I just love that you named it, right? Because I hadn't had a name for it. But random stuff will happen, like kids will sell apple juice on the carpet as soon as I'm about to get on a sales call, right? Or an email will just magically appear with a fire when I'm supposed to be doing really important work for our company. So it's like crazy the level of subconscious reach that your inner saboteur has at their disposal to sabotage you at any means possible. When it comes to the inner critic, the phrase that comes for me is, you're not good enough, right? So for me, it's kind of self-worth might be the biggest thing. And I don't tend to have it before I get on a sales call. It's typically when I find my critic when I'm about to go into the pitch or I'm about to present the offer. And that's when my critic starts kicking in and like spanking me. So I'm trying to put myself in that place where the inner critic is talking to me. I don't know, for me, I kind of get tingly palms, maybe, like kind of an itchiness, almost a hive sort of sensation comes up for me when I'm feeling resistance.
Okay, all right. So let's do. We'll do kind of a twofold piece for you. So the first one is that you definitely want to do make tapping part of your regular routine, because this the inner critic and that, not good enough, which is, by the way, it is so widespread that I would almost say that it is a part of human consciousness to have this belief of not being good enough, right? And so that piece of working on the not good enough is something that you always just want to have incorporated in and kind of working on. Then when you're in that moment where you're getting ready to pitch and you can feel it kind of lifting up, or like getting a little tingly, like, here comes the money, we're going to talk about the money, and they might say no, or then in the moment, the being able to just tap on your collarbone, feel your feet, get grounded, and right when you're there, and what will happen is that your vocal cords will loosen. So the timbre of your voice is going to go down, which is an indicator of leadership. It's an indicator of confidence, and it's going to bring your prospect into that space of being relaxed and trusting you. So that's in the moment. in the moment, just tapping on your collarbone.
This might not work in like belly to belly, face to face sales. You might not want to just start tapping yourself while you're having coffee with somebody. I don't advise this, but definitely tap on the way there for sure. I've done the karate chop a lot when I'm getting ready for a call. So that one's fun. But I love the idea of tapping while I'm on the sales call. I hadn't thought about that, but that's a great way to just bring down the anxiety that you're experiencing. So that's fantastic.
Yes. And so then let's talk about just getting prepared for a call. So this is kind of a three-part process of getting ready for a call. And what this is it's really preparing you on three levels of sales, right? One is the truth of our lower selves, right? The truth of our human lower self, which is that we need the money. We want the money. We want to get a yes. We want the pleasure of being able to celebrate a new client, a new commission, a new, whatever that is. And that we really want to acknowledge and really honor that part of ourselves, which a lot of heart-centered entrepreneurs actually kind of shut down, and to our detriment. We absolutely need to really love and embrace all of ourselves, including our shadow, including our lower self that just wants the money. And
That's
then,
great. I love
yeah, and then there's the kind of the mid-level, which is, it's more of like for our higher self. So whether we're selling a package for our own practice or to bring them into our business, or if we're actually selling for someone else, and we know, and it is to the service of our prospective, our prospect on the phone. So we want to tap for their highest good. And then we want to tap for our higher self, because this is when we're closing a sale, it's about transmitting through our highest gift. And so a tapping session before you get on the phone would start with your lowest self. And so you want to just tap with me. We'll just start on the collarbone, and I'll just give you guys a real quick tutorial. I'm tilting because we are gonna go under the arm, and then we do the top of the head, the eyebrow, side of the eye, under the eye, under the nose point, the chin point, and then under the collarbones, right? And we went over that in more detail in the last session. So let's just do a quick round that is tapping for our lower selves. And yeah, just tap and repeat after me. So the truth is, I really want the money.
I really want the money.
I want to hear yes.
I want to hear yes.
I want them to say yes.
I want them to say yes.
I want to close this deal.
I want to close this deal.
I want to make this money.
I want to make this money.
It is going to be so fun.
It is going to be so fun.
When they say yes.
When they say yes.
It's going to feel really good.
It's going to feel really good.
And I like feeling good.
And I like feeling good.
I love feeling good.
I love feeling good.
So I'm going to honor the fact.
I'm going to honor the fact.
I want them to say yes.
I want them to say yes.
I want this sale.
I want the sale.
I want this money.
I want this money.
I want it.
I want it.
I really want it.
I really want it.
And I honor my lower self.
I honor my lower self.
And all my desires.
And all my desires.
For money and fun and goodness.
For money and fun and goodness.
And I also honor the fact.
And I also honor the fact.
That I am offering the best service.
That I'm offering the best service.
And I really want it for them.
And I really want it for them.
It's going to make such a difference in their lives.
It's going to make such a difference in their lives.
I can see it now.
I can see it now.
Their business will explode.
Their business will explode.
Their sales will go through the roof.
Their sales will go through the roof.
I can really serve this person.
I can really serve this person.
And I want to.
And I want to.
Because I want to see them succeed.
Because I want to see them succeed.
And I would love to be a part of their success.
And I would love to be a part of their success.
So I'm just going to honor the fact that I really want this for them.
So I'm just going to honor the fact that I really want this for them.
All right. And then we'll move on to the final one. And this is my gift.
And this is my gift.
This is what I do best.
This is what I do best.
This is my highest service.
This is my highest service.
And I am offering my very best.
And I am offering my very best.
And when I offer my very best,
when I offer my very best,
things shift for everybody.
Things shift for everybody.
I love offering my highest.
I love offering my highest.
My vibration is so high.
My vibration is so high.
When I am in this zone.
When I am in the zone.
Offering my expertise, my gifts.
Offering my expertise, my gifts.
For their highest good.
For their highest good.
And I love that.
And I love that.
And so I honor my highest self.
I honor my highest self.
And all of my gifts.
And all of my gifts.
And I honor my lower self.
And I honor my lower self.
And all of my desire.
And all of my desire.
And that they are integrated.
And that they are integrated.
That my deepest, truest desire.
And my deepest, truest desire.
Is to live in this space of fulfillment of giving my highest gifts.
To live in this place of fulfillment, giving my highest gift.
And receiving at the highest level.
And receiving at the highest level.
So I'm going to pick up this phone.
So I'm going to pick up the phone.
And I am going to offer my very best.
And I am going to offer my very best.
For their very best.
For their very best.
And by the end of this call, we will both have shifted in a beautiful way.
We will have both shifted in a beautiful way.
Because this call is my service.
Because this call is my service.
And I can't wait to share my gifts.
And I can't wait to share my gifts.
Okay, let's take a breath.
Love it. Feel cleansed. It's wonderful.
And so what I really like to kind of drive home in that is that you see where the higher self and the lower self actually are integrated into this whole. One of the most beautiful things that I've heard is that, and when I began to understand it, it really started to shift, because we as a society have kind of gotten this idea that desire is bad, but service is good. Receiving is not so great, but giving is what we should be doing. And it actually puts us out of balance. And so the thing that I've heard that I love so much is that our desire is actually a God or spirit speaking to us. And when we really honor that desire and really go into it, the truth is that, yeah, I want lots of money, but if we really got down to the truth of it, lots of money pouring in for me doing something that's not congruent with my values and with my gifts is that's not what I want. What I want is when I go to my sales call, when I go in, that I get, that when I am clear about my desire to serve this person and receive in return, it's really a desire to be sharing myself at my highest level. And that's where the vibration, when we talk about that vibration of being high energy and magnetism and charisma, it's when we've integrated our higher consciousness and our lower human consciousness into one solid, grounded place.
Yeah, and I think I was just talking about this with Michael. Well, it was actually more of a theological discussion about the virtue of selfishness, and Rand. But the idea was that, like, self-love is that fundamental piece. We love God because He first loved us, right? So there's this fundamental idea that you, and again, like, love others as you love yourself. That love of self has to come first, and that love of self is not antithetical to love of other or love of God. And that they're actually completely synergistic and in alignment with one another. And so what I love what you're saying is that all of us, like, when I want my own good and I want the good of the other and I want the good of those around me, that all of those things are perfectly in alignment, that every sales conversation can be an act of love and service, that's my motto, and that it can be a win-win for both parties, that both of you guys can win as a result of this interaction. And so those, I think, are the two biggest things that are helpful for me to overcome my resistance when making a sales call. I used to get really, like, hyperventilate and clammy when I was getting on a sales call, but I realized, at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter how this call ends up. The end result is less important than how I show up and the value that I provide in the conversation. And so keeping myself grounded in that philosophy of love and service, win-win, it really makes sales conversation so effortless because there is no internal struggle between me and them and win or lose and all that kind of yuck that really holds us back.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I really resonate with that. When I talk with my clients, I talk about radical self-love. And radical self-love has to do with loving and accepting all of our parts, even the selfish parts, and the truth of selfishness, and one of my favorite subjects, the truth of selfishness is that how much more generous would you be if you were only giving from a place of overflowing than rather a place of obligation that you should be generous? So it's really our obligation to the world to be super selfish, make sure that our cup is overflowing, and then we've got so much more to share. When we're trying not to be selfish, that's very different than being generous. So be selfish and be generous. We can be both. It doesn't, they're not mutually exclusive. So I'm very selfish with my time, and I'm incredibly generous with my time. But if I'm not being selfish with my time, then the time that I give isn't worth very much.
Right. So Johnilee, how can somebody work with you, do more tapping, kind of get more of your stuff from them? What action would you like them to take if they'd like to learn more?
Oh, sure. So what I'm offering right now, which is a really, really fun offer, and I think I sent you the link. If I need to resend it to you, I will. But I do a mapping session, and this is a complimentary session. So we can do a comprehensive map to kind of understand where the underlying issues are, whether, you know, it's that strong saboteur or the critic or your skeptic, or for most of us, it's the trifecta, right? They're all three kind of interplay. And then I will help you to kind of know the pathway, what you need to do to really start to clear those three energies so that you have that higher vibration when you come to your calls. So I have a link to sign up for that one-on-one session with me, and I will, if you guys don't have it,
I think I found it. It's
Sales Breakthrough.
Sales Breakthrough. Okay. So let me share my screen. It's the salesbreakthrough.entrepages.com. Money Mindset Sales Breakthrough Session. And I've used you for my own tapping coach, as my own tapping coach, and just really powerful breakthroughs. I'm so amazed by what you're able to accomplish in such a short period of time. And it really is amazing because once the resistance clears and you're in the flow, it's amazing how miracles just sort of happen. Closing deals becomes easier than ever before. Prospects start reaching out to you instead of you hunting them down. So I cannot emphasize enough how important it is that when you're doing sales, that you have to be in alignment, be in the vortex, be in the right energy shift, whatever it is that you call it, but you need to be ready emotionally and energetically before you start that conversation if you want anything good to come out of it. So love it. Thank you guys so much. I'm going to go ahead and just share my screen one more time. It's sales, S-A-L-E-S, plural, breakthrough, B-R-E-A-K-T-H-R-O-U-G-H, .ontra, O-N-T-R-A, pages, plural.com. So it's in the chat, but I don't know if it's going to be in the replay, so I want you guys to get that and go ahead and take advantage of Johnilee's very generous offer. I know that she charges a lot of money for her sessions, and so having a mapping session with her, really getting clarity on where you want to go next is really fabulous. So Johnilee, thank you so much for your time today and walking us through that exercise. I know it's going to be really helpful for people.
Awesome. Thank you so much. This was super fun. I can't wait to do more.
All right. Thanks, Dawn. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye, guys.
All right. Bye.